And for this live stream on YouTube, I think we're just going to talk about some of the constructive criticism that we get about some of the policies that Trump has and our response to that. Before we get into that, though, I just want to say we are unscripted. We are not paid by anybody. We don't have a list of things anywhere in front of us to say what we're going to talk about. We really just want to connect with people on a human scale and just talk to you like we would be talking to you if you were sitting right in front of us. So that's our whole point in doing everything that we do. Yes, we could bring a lot more evidence and points into these conversations, but I think it would just be great if we could just sit down, have a discussion, back and forth. You know, obviously you can't on YouTube, but that's what we do on Periscope every night, and get some of the facts down.
One thing that we want to do is, our overall goal is just to put our message out there as to what our thoughts, comments, concerns are about why we support Mr. Donald Trump, why we think he's going to be the best president in American history, mirroring the greatness of Ronald Reagan, and why we think that Hillary Clinton has no right to be anywhere near the White House.
Right. We talk a lot about what are Hillary Clinton's successes. A lot of people can't name them because there aren't many. We've talked about that every single time. You know, 40 or 30 plus years in the political sphere. Who knows how long she's really been in it. And we can't really name successes. I'm going to be the first one to say there are things that she has done, whether they have benefited or failed. That's up for you to decide. But there are things that she has done. But it's interesting when the followers, the Hillary Clinton followers, can't name any of them. That should just be, first and foremost, the most important point. They cannot name these successes. And that's scary. That means they're voting on emotion. That means they're voting on things other than policy and integrity, which is a scary day in the United States when people are voting for somebody because of emotion, and who else knows?
And exactly, that's a huge point. People are not looking at the policies that each individual is presenting to better America and move us forward as a nation. They are looking at one little minor detail that, oh, Trump didn't smile correctly, so, you know, I can't vote for him. I have to vote against him. When you take the whole grand scheme of things and you break down each thing, there has to be more things that you agree with than you disagree with. And again, the other night we had a hardcore Hillary supporter who agreed with one of her policies. And that was what he was solely voting on. We brought up 3 huge points on our Periscope and said, what do you feel about these? And, well, I don't like that. I don't agree with that. That doesn't make sense to me. But he continued to hold on to that one point, thinking that that was going to better our nation.
So a lot of the constructive criticism that we get back, the temporary ban on Muslims until we can properly vet them is a big one that we get all the time. They are refugees, and we have a lot of people saying they're humans. Of course they're humans. We know that they're humans, and we want to protect and help everyone that we possibly can. Our intention is not to push down people in bad situations. That is not our intention. That is not Donald Trump's intention. That is not anybody's intention. Our intention solely is to protect the American people. To protect the American people is the most important thing. I understand helping these people, and I want to help them. But bringing them into this country, which is a complete assimilation issue, right? I mean, they're not going to assimilate the best with the United States and Western civilization coming from where they come from. They would do a better job at assimilating in the Gulf states, maybe Saudi Arabia, maybe some other countries, where they all practice and believe similar things. Western civilization, you know, is not going to assimilate with Sharia law for the most part. It's not going to assimilate with these values that they were brought up believing. That is not to say that we want to kick them down while they're down, you know. That's not to say we want to keep them down. I just personally feel like Hillary Clinton wants to bring in 630,000 refugees, somewhere around that number, in the 4 years that she's president, if she becomes president. Each one of those refugees is projected to cost $81,000 each to be able to live here. That's a tremendous amount of money that we can't afford. We are a debtor nation. We have $21 trillion in debt. We shouldn't, as the American people, take on that burden economically. and especially with the social ramifications of inviting these people over. The social ramifications of this, and like I said, the not being able to assimilate with our values, should terrify you, especially as two gay men. This should terrify you.
And why are we busy putting all of these other people's lives before Americans' lives? People that have grown up in the good times and the bad times of America, and they've struggled, they've prospered, and right now they're just trying to make ends meet for a lot of these people. That money that we're spending on all of these refugees, that's money that could go to helping America as a whole. But Hillary Clinton doesn't see that. She wants to be this world peace negotiator and say, look at us, we're taking in all these refugees, we're going to help. But that's only going to weaken America. We don't have the money to support these people. We don't even have money to support our own nation. So I don't understand how this is going to benefit America as a whole.
And I'm not saying just drop it and leave it. I'm not saying let's just ignore the Syrian refugee problem. What I am saying is let's create safe zones in their own country, in their own areas, protected by our military, fine. Protected by other countries' military, fine. That's exactly what Donald Trump is saying. But to take them out of their home, okay, move them into an area within their same country that is safe, that is prosperous, where they can start to rebuild, I think that's the most important thing, and it would help the majority of refugees. But you know, we can talk about this all day long. Another criticism we get is the wall. These people from our southern border, first of all, we get illegal immigrants from everywhere, not just our southern border, but the majority of illegal immigrants come from our southern border.
And it is fact that our number one country that we get illegals from is Mexico. And that only makes sense because it is directly on our southern border. It is a lot easier for them to get here than somebody coming from overseas.
And to be completely rational, the majority of the drugs in this country come from our southern border. I mean, sorry that you hate facts, but that is true. The majority of, you know, the illegal crime, the illegal immigrant crime comes from our southern border. Sorry about facts, but they don't care about your feelings. These are facts, and Donald Trump is talking about them. We are not saying all Mexicans are rapists. We are not saying all Mexicans do this, that, or the other thing. And Donald Trump didn't say it either, so don't even start with that one. But we understand 100% that these people are in search of a better life, that these people want to come to the United States to seek out a better life for them and their families. We 100% support that, and we want that to happen, but they have to come in legally. Every single country enforces their immigration policy. Every single country, especially Mexico, is very tough on their immigration policy. And I think the United States should be doing that as well. We have a country to protect. We have a country to, we owe our loyalty to United States citizens. That's where we owe our loyalty to. And we don't owe it to people offshore that we don't even know who they are, or people across the border.
It's not fair to the people that have gone through the process and come here legally, and they've made a life for themselves, to just watch these other people just come in across the border and not even give a care about what's going on. They're going to take jobs that pay cash. They're going to take a mass majority of that money and send it back to their home country, and it's not going to help our economy in any way. I don't understand why people don't see this as a problem. I understand wholeheartedly, yes, you're struggling in your home country and you want to seek a better life. I get that, and I support that, but you have to come about it the right way. It is not fair to the people that have gone through the process. My own father came to America legally. He went through all of the proper channels that had to be done, and at that time, 65 plus years ago, they had to have a sponsor family, somebody that was going to take them in and take care of them.
At no point are we ever saying that it's easy to get into this country legally. At no point have we ever said that. Maybe we can even identify the legal immigration process, expedite the legal immigration process for some of our for some of the people coming in here, but they're only going to be expedited if they're not on entitlement programs, if they're not sucking off of the system, if they have their own job, if they support American values and they put this country first. Sure,
Exactly.
absolutely we can expedite these people. But what I am seeing right now is a lot of illegal immigrants burning the American flag, anti-American, anti-us. And so it baffles me to understand why we're supporting this. I mean, if they don't want to be here so bad, why are they here? We should really, really look inside of ourselves as Americans and understand why we want to encourage more people bashing this country. A nationalistic viewpoint is not a bad thing. Supporting the country that you're from and wanting better things for your country and its citizens is not a bad thing, ever.
So I think on that note, I mean, just take a good hard look inside yourself and feel and ask yourself, what are the big problems that America is facing today?
Right.
What track is America on? Because right now I think only, what is it, 30% of Americans feel that America is on the right track.
Right. Right.
That's absolutely horrible. That is uncalled for, unacceptable. So you need to ask yourself, what do I want to see that is going to help better America?
Right.
And then look at each candidate's policies and see where you fit with those.
And I just want to sum up everything by saying the majority of the constructive criticism that we get is by emotional appeals. People are trying to convince us emotionally about other people's lives and other people's feelings. I understand that, and while I am sympathetic to some of these people's stories, I get it, I understand you, but our country is falling apart. And my logic brain is trumping my emotional brain. We need to think logically about how we're going to do this, because if America is poor, if America is in debt, if America doesn't have the resources to take care of everybody like we've been doing, we cannot continue, and it's detrimental to the citizens living here.
Exactly.
We have to build from within. We have to strengthen ourselves before we reach that handout and start helping other people.
That's a really good point.
So with that, we love you. We will see you tonight on Periscope. Feel free to call us, tweet us, email us, whatever you want. We love you. See you. Goodbye.
Bye.